Hello and welcome back to another video. I have a homeschool video for you today where I'm going to give you a look at what we have been using for our Bible studies curriculum this year. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Marika and I am on my second year homeschooling my children. I have 4 kids. I have Will, who is 12. I have Em, who is 7. I have Crew, who's 5, and sweet little Jackson, who's just 3 years old. This is our second year homeschooling and we're really loving it. I am a teacher by trade before I had children, but now I am a homeschooling mama. And on my channel, I just love to share all of the things that we have been doing in our homeschool, just so that we can take you along on our journey and just share great resources that we have found. So a lot of my videos, I will do book review and flip throughs for you so you can have a look at the books that we're using. I talk about the curriculum that we have used and that we have loved. I do a homeschool room tour, how we organise our day, how we do planning, how I do evaluating, all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you so much for visiting my channel and hope you stick around. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. That would really help me out. So enough introductions, let's get in and have a look at the resources I'm going to show you today. So we are a Christian family. I'm actually a pastor of a church. My husband and I, along with our best friends, planted a church a couple of years ago here in our city. And so I am full-time mum and full-time homeschool. And then I also do church work on the side. And so we are Christians. And so for our Bible education this year, we have been using this great book. It's called The Story for Kids. And it has been really, really great. So basically, The Story for Kids is the from the NIV version of the Bible, and it's the Bible retold, and it's just told in a much more kind of user-friendly language for children. So let me just read the back little blurb for you. The Story for Kids has it all, but it's not just a fantasy, it's the story, the big picture of God's enormous love for his people, written like a novel. The Story for Kids is a brilliant resource for children, whether it's used on its own or part of the Story Church campaign. It is told using the New International Reader's Version, which is the easiest to read of all Bible translations. Events, characters, and teaching are arranged in chronological order so you can better understand God's plan for creation and his people. The Story for Kids also includes attractive illustrations plus discussion questions at the end of each chapter. And so I guess that's why I have really loved this book for reading and for reading the Bible to my children, because they have kind of put all of the stories into chronological order, and it's all the really important stuff that is in there. And so my children have loved sitting and listening to me read it to them, and it's just a lot easier for them to understand. Now, I ordered my copy of the story from bookdepository.com, but I imagine that you can get it from Koorong and all kinds of places that sell Bibles. But I will pop a link in the description box down below for you so that you can go and have a look at it. And let me give you a closer look inside so you can have a look at the book inside, and then I will share with you how I do the lessons with my children. All right, so let's have a look inside. All right, so here is the contents page, and it has all of the chapters here and what they're looking at in each chapter, which is great. So you can pause that and have a look, a closer look for yourself if you like. There's the other half. Okay, and then this is just a little forward by Max Lucado and Randy Fries. Okay, and straight in. So the back did say they had illustrations, but they are just really simple black and white illustrations. So let me just show you, read to you just so that you can get a little look at the language that they use. So, the beginning of life as we know it. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth didn't have any shape and it was empty. Darkness was over the surface of the ocean. At that time, the ocean covered the earth. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light was good. He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day. He called the darkness night. There was evening and there was morning. It was day one. So there you go. That's a little look at the language that they're using, and so that you can kind of compare it to your version of the Bible. And so here's another example of the illustrations that they were talking about. The chapters are quite long, so sometimes for a read aloud that was a bit too much for my children, so I did have to break the chapters up into smaller sections. But here are some examples of the discussion questions that they have at the end. So number 1, do you like to create things? Describe something you have made or drawn. What do you like about making or creating something? Number 2, have you ever done something your mum or dad told you not to? What happened when they found out? How did it feel when you knew they were aware of what you had done? Number 3, God put a rainbow in the sky as a sign of his promise never to flood the world again. Have you ever made a promise to someone? How did you show that person you were serious about keeping that promise? So that's just an example of the questions, and usually there are about 3 questions at the end of each chapter. So I'll just give it. So basically that's just how the book is set out, just like a novel, with a few little black and white images along the way, and then at the end of each chapter there's usually about 3 discussion questions. So I won't flip through the whole book because it's basically all the same, but I will find another section kind of just to read aloud to you to show you. All right, so I've just flipped to the section where Jesus is on the scene. And it does have like a little bit here where it kind of gives you a little bit of a backstory before it kind of goes into what they're talking about. So it says here, the Bible doesn't tell us what Jesus did between the ages of 20 and 30. Jesus probably learned to be a carpenter like Joseph, and he probably played with his friends. One of his friends might have been his cousin John. John was a very special person to God too. Around the time Mary was visited by the angel, the same angel came to tell John's parents that John would be born soon. And the angel also said John would tell the world about the Messiah Jesus had finally come. And then it goes into what they're from the Bible. So in those days, John the Baptist came and preached in the desert of Judea. He said, "Turn away from your sins, the kingdom of heaven is near." John's clothes were made out of camel's hair. He had a leather belt around his waist. His food was locusts and wild honey. So you can kind of see, they do give you some background information, and then they'll launch into the story from the Bible. You can see here, Jesus replied, "Let it be this way for now. It is right for us to do this. It carries out God's holy plan." Then John agreed. So you can kind of see how it is set out. It doesn't have the chapters or verses or anything like that. It is just set out like you're reading a novel to them. So here's another. So there you go. That's a little look at how the book is set out. I really do like to show you how books are set out, so and what the content is like, because when you're buying books online, which most of us are doing now, especially during this kind of lockdown phase of COVID and all those kind of things, so more people are ordering books online, and you don't usually get to see what they're like on the inside and if they'll actually work for you. So that's why I really like to show you the inside of books, so that you can have a look for yourself and decide if that's going to be something that will work for you and your family. Okay, so how I would use this book during our homeschool day is we were actually just using this once a week. We started off on Monday morning, the first day of our homeschool week, with doing Bible studies. And so we would all gather together. Now, as I said, I have a son who's in grade 6. I have a daughter who's in grade 2. I have a son who's in prep pre-primary, and then I have my 3-year-old. And so all of my children will join me for Bible time. My 3-year-old will be in and out. He doesn't quite sit still for kind of long stories. So he'll be in and out, but definitely my 3 school-age children will sit for Bible studies. And so we open off our week just praying to the Lord together for our week and our time together. And then I will read a chapter to the children from the story. And so you can see we've been working on one every week throughout the year, and we're nearly to the end. And so if it's a really long chapter, then I might only read half a chapter to them, but generally I will read a whole chapter to them. And when I have finished reading the chapter, we may do those discussion questions that are at the end of the chapter, or I will come up with my own questions, just because with the Bible, as you may know, every time you read a chapter, even if it's familiar to you, you always get something new. The Lord's always teaching you something new or talking to something different to you each and every time. And so I'll kind of just read the chapter and just really ask Holy Spirit, what do you want us to really, talk about or lean into from the chapter that we've just read, and what's really, what are my children going through, and how is this applicable to them? And so I will use those discussion questions, or I'll kind of come up with a few questions of my own. I'll actually also do a recitation as well. So once I've read it, I will ask my children what it is that we just read. And so they will briefly retell back to me the story that we read aloud in this book. And that helps me to understand if they are understanding, and if they're not, then I can give them a bit of a paraphrase to help them out with their understanding. And I just want to do that because I would love to know like where their level is at and what they thought of the story and what it meant to them. And so that's why I do a recitation as well from this. And then sometimes we may go and do some kind of Bible journaling activity from that. My daughter might like to go and draw a picture and write a little bit about what we learnt, or write down some prayer points, kind of whatever is kind of happening in that moment and that we're talking about, and we might go and do that. But what we do is we will watch a video that goes along with the story that we have just read. And the videos that we use pretty much all the time is from Superbooks. And if you haven't heard of Superbooks before, I will leave a link down below for you to go and check them out, because Superbooks are excellent. They have a website and they also have a YouTube channel, and you can find they call them episodes or videos that go along with all of the Bible stories. So let me show you on what Superbooks looks like and how we use it. Okay, so this is our Superbooks website. And again, as I said, I'll leave a link down below, and you can see here are all the episodes that they have for the Bible. And now with Superbooks, I have just signed up for a free account, but you can also apply for a subscription, which gives you access to a whole lot more videos and a whole lot more information. And so that's a part of the Superbook Academy. And this is the Australian site, and it is $30 a month. They do offer 1 month's free trial. So I encourage you to do that free trial, and you can have a look at all the extras that you get and decide if that's what you would like to sign up for. But we just use a free account, and we have access to episodes, small clips, and there's also some games and Bible challenges and things like that. But let me first just show you the episodes. So these are all the full episodes that I have access to with my free account. And you can see here we have in the beginning, the test, Jacob and Esau, We've got a few Moses ones here. We've got David and Goliath, Daniel in the lion's den, the first Christmas. Sorry, these are hard to read. Miracles of Jesus, the Last Supper, He is risen, and the road to Damascus. This is the one we've just done this week. Sorry if that light is bouncing off of there. And then this one is Revelation. And then it goes into season 2, and there's a whole bunch more. We've got the prodigal son, Jonah, Joseph, Noah, Elijah. Then there's season 3. So many. And then you get down to season 4 and you start to see these little lock signs. So here, these videos are all unlocked that I have access to. And then there's a whole section here that you can see has the little lock sign on. So these are all the things that then you will have access to if you have a subscription. And you can see there are so many videos here. They are amazing. This is season 5. There you go. And so what we would do is we would read the chapter from this book, and then we will do our discussion questions and talk about it, and then we will go and find the story that we were reading from. We will find a Superbooks episode and we would watch it together. So for example, when we started, the first chapter was in the beginning, and then it has a video here, and the videos they're about 30 minutes long, I think. Now, Superbooks is also on YouTube, which I'll leave a link down below for you as well. And they have a bunch of, not the full episodes on here, they're just short clips. But they have a bunch of fun stuff that I find is helpful for my older son, who is 12. They have a bunch of little shows that they've done where they are talking about stuff, and then they'll show a short clip from one of the episodes. And so there's a bunch of these on there. I think they started doing this when COVID kind of lockdown happened. And so they also here have other languages available for their videos as well. So we also access Superbook through YouTube, which is really fantastic as well. And we will also do some worship together as well on that Monday. And so I will throw some worship videos up on the TV. We have Apple TV, and so I just play them through YouTube onto our TV. And my kids have a whole bunch of favorite worship songs that they love to do. And so we will start off our week with worship as well. My son, who is 12, he will generally sit and watch the worship videos from the couch. But my younger ones, who are 7, 5, and 3, they love to get up and dance and sing to the songs in that way. But we just all have a worship time together as well. And so that's what our Bible study or our Bible has looked for curriculum-wise so far for our school year. We have just been working through this book and watching Superbooks episodes to go along with that. And of course, we do worship, and we just do this once a week. Now, of course, we still have God and things pop up in our curriculum throughout our week as well, because all the curriculum that we use is Bible-based as well. And so, we're always talking about the Lord, but kind of focusing in on Bible studies is what we do on a Monday morning using the Story for Kids and Superbooks. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down in the comments box below, and I will answer them as best as I can. Or if there's anything that you would like to see on my channel, any kind of ideas for videos or things like that that would help you out, please leave a comment below for me as well. I would love to be making content that is really helpful for you and the season that you're currently in at the moment. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time. Bye.